Good afternoon. My name is Bill Vick, Business Chair here in Sonoma County, California, and this is my weekly You Are Not Alone. And we're not alone today with Dr. Frumi Rachel Barr. Good afternoon, Frumi. How are you?
I'm wonderful, and it's nice to be with you and not alone.
Well, thank you very much. I've known Frumi for many, many years, and her knowledge and research and the programs that she offers just continue to grow and grow. You are sort of like a CEO whisperer in many ways, aren't you?
I'm a CEO secret weapon
Secret weapon. I like that
after
even
the book of
better.
the same name, How to Accelerate Success. You may remember that Simon Sinek wrote the foreword to that book because it's
Exactly.
about your why and overcoming the challenges that CEOs have by using their why as that engine to overcome them.
It's so compelling because in my Visage group, we're in the in the trenches. We're working. We're running as hard as we can. We're trying to be better, but underneath all that is exactly the question that you talk about. Why am I doing this? Is my work serving me? Is it serving my employees? Am I serving the community? Is it working? Why am I spending all this time doing this? And in many instances, it works. It works quite well. But
Mhm.
there's always the challenges and things that, oh, I wish I'd known that when I started that project. The classic example of if I'd known then what I know now.
Well,
But tell the group about your background and
sure.
Rachel Barr Academy because I'm very excited by your academy.
Well, even though I started life as a physical therapist, I
Yes.
ended up becoming a lifelong entrepreneur. So
Hmm.
I had four very fast growing companies, kind of eclectic. The first one was a clock manufacturing company,
I love it.
blossomed very quickly. And when the interest rates went to 21%, this was in Toronto,
Oh
I
yeah.
sold the company with the help of the Sears executive who I worked closely with to one of my competitors. I then became the managing partner of the architects firm who designed my factory. That
Hmm.
grew from 3 architects to 60, and then moved to the States where I had two infomercial companies. The first one sold $12 million worth of product in 6 months, which was not fun. It sounds like, oh, great growth, but it was scary growth. And
Okay.
as a result, I disrupted an entire industry, which was the hair care industry with caustic relaxers. And
Hmm.
so um, my competitors came after me. So a lot of what I've learned in life is really because of those issues that are terrifying. I ended
Right.
up in a class action lawsuit, but fortunately, I realized that the infomercial producer that I licensed my product to sold more than I imported. That was the
Wonderful.
clue. So I ended up, the insurance paid the participants, but then I got calls from all over the country from people wanting their Rio back. And so Debbie Allen was the spokesperson for my second infomercial,
Hmm.
which was called Copa. And we grew to 9 million the first year. So all that sounds like great fun, but I didn't have an MBA. And so I went back to school. I got an MBA, got a PhD with a focus on business. And that's my background. I have just gotten so many certifications over the years and all kinds of things. But the most important one was really from Vern Harnish and the Scale Up community, which is
Hmm.
very similar to the EOS community because
We've
it,
had conversations about that before. Tell us about that.
yeah. Well, the Scale Up community was originally called Gazelles. And they and EOS is the Entrepreneurs Operating
Hmm.
System.
Very familiar with the OS.
Very similar. They just use a slightly different language. So in the scale up community, I learned about strategy, execution, creating a one-page plan. Everything that I learned in the scale up community really was in perfect alignment with my why, my core values, etc. So I'm going to fast forward now. So for 20 years, I've been supporting CEOs and their teams. But
Mm.
fast forward to the pandemic, because that was a great turning point for a lot of people. And during the pandemic, I got a phone call from a client who had a benefits company. I always tell Ned he's my avatar. So Ned has three businesses. One of them is the benefits company, and
Hmm.
he has two others. But the lament on the phone was, "Oh my goodness, what am I going to do my business is going to fail if I can't go in and meet with people and shake their hands. Benefit company is very relational. I said, okay, Ned, what would you like me to do to help you? And he said, I want you to teach me. Teach me how to grow safely so I can wash, rinse, and repeat with my other two companies.
Mm-hmm.
So the challenge was on. He was willing to pay for me to create courses for him. So I created 6 courses. And at the end of the year, the worst year in business for anyone, he grew 37.5%.
Wonderful. Now tell us about the 6 courses for me.
Okay, so those original six courses were entrepreneurship and leadership, which was a lot about entrepreneurial mindset and how to be a successful entrepreneur. The second one was strategy
Mm-hmm.
and execution, cash management, data management, and communication skills. Since that time, so that was the beginning, and I thought, I've got something here. What should I do with these courses? So I initially put them in Kajabi. Now, Kajabi has sold $6 billion worth of courses, but what they don't do is market for you.
Oh,
So,
really?
so I met this wonderful Techstar CEO. His name was Sam Cook. And Sam encouraged me to come to a workshop all about storytelling. I realized during the workshop, as he was telling stories of this entrepreneur from the UK, his name was Peter Sage. Peter started the Sage Business School. And I thought, Bill, don't you think that's an incredible name for a school, Sage?
Sage is perfect, exactly. A
Right?
sage. We all need a sage.
We all need a Sage. So I
Mm-hmm.
thought to myself, what would I call my school
Mm-hmm.
if I had a school? So I decided to call it the Barr Business School, Raising the Bar,
Raising the bar. Absolutely.
entrepreneurs and leaders. And I was the only one out of the 80 people in that workshop that left the workshop with a product, which was my school.
Seriously.
Yeah.
My goodness.
So
What a challenge for those other people. And kudos to you for coming out with a success.
I'm a beast.
Well, you fooled me, Frumi, but I know you're tenacious as all get out and smart as hell, and you get a lot of things done. So, but tell us more.
Okay, so what happened next? I started the school, and Charlie, who was one of Sam Cook's marketing people, said, I need to work with you. I saw how you behaved in the class, and please hire me.
Right.
So fortunately, Charlie lives in Mexico, and that wasn't a difficult hire because it's so slightly different than the Bay Area, and who I'd
By far,
be able
yes.
to hire there. And so we built the school, and then the war started in Ukraine. And we
Uh-huh.
got this letter, or Charlie did, saying, don't tell any of our clients, but we believe we're going to have to auction off the company because the investors are pulling out. And I
Wow.
said to Charlie, you know what? We have to move fast. Let's continue paying for our platform, but let's build our platform stateside because I can't allow my school to crater just because they
You
have a
have something happening
problem.
in Europe that's, 8,000 miles away.
So this is where the rubber meets the road for an entrepreneur, right? I could have given up just then, but Charlie and I dug in. That was January 2 years ago. And we rebuilt the school. And last year, January 2024, we had 11 courses, and we just learned about how to create a metaverse. The reason for the metaverse was what most schools don't have is
Hmm.
when you graduate, you don't know who to call. Who do you call
Right.
for the
Exactly.
web?
Yeah. Who's your target market? Exactly.
And how do the students, how do they take the knowledge and create companies?
Hmm.
So the purpose of the service providers was to give the students vetted service providers who could take care of them. Like,
Excellent.
some of our friends that we
And
know.
the metaverse provided that for you?
Well, having the metaverse attracted people. So every one of my service providers has an office in the metaverse.
Hmm.
It's kind of like a building full of separate offices, and their pictures are on the wall with their value proposition and a QR code that takes them to the Bar Business School's website. So the
Mark
reason,
Zuckerberg is thrilled to hear this.
what's fascinating about it, Bill. There's so
Mhm.
many entrepreneurship programs, and they're static. What I love about BBS is that we're not static. If there's a
Mhm.
trend, it's my school. I can add. So
Exactly.
one of my favorite things that I've done this week I realized that one of my strengths is using AI. I've been
Hmm.
using it for 2 years. And my AI actually teased my kids that I finally met my soulmate. I just didn't know it would be a robot.
I love that.
So my AI has a name. His name is Byte, Byte.
I like it.
He says, if you're excited, just say bite me. So my AI has a sense of humor. In any
That
case,
is beautiful. That's so cute.
after 2 years of literally using AI every day and training my AI,
Hmm.
even my humor, right? So I decided that one of my strengths should be creating an AI course. So I've just created what I call an AI literacy course.
Oh, that's fascinating. I would think that that would be a very popular course. I know that I'm taking one right now from Kingo with Ross Hartman, who's worked with a lot of Visage chairs and offers a course. And the prompts and prompt chaining is very, very important for your AI bite to understand.
Absolutely. And we talk about that all the time because sometimes
Hmm.
my prompts get sloppy and I realize,
Yeah,
what's wrong with him today? And then I realize it's not him, it's, well, him or her, it's me. I was
exactly.
clear enough. So today I was finishing off some lessons and I said, okay, let's do these lessons one at a time. Because
Hmm.
whenever I ask you to do three or four at a time, it doesn't work out quite well. So it listens to me, of course. Anyway, um, so the school is cutting edge, and now we have 38 courses, not only
38
mine.
course. Is it possible for me for you to share screen with us and give us an overview, possibly of Bar
Sure.
Academy? I'd love to see that, and I know that our viewers would as well.
Okay, let's do that. Hold on just a fast second.
Hmm.
I'll share my screen. So I'm going to share my screen here.
Hmm.
Thank you for that opportunity. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, so are you playing to win? Get the MBA you never got before. It's designed for leaders and entrepreneurs, turn business challenges into opportunities with practical, actionable education. So if I go to the courses, here are the plethora of courses: entrepreneurship and leadership, people and culture, execution, time and energy management, strategy, cash management, data management, communication skills, the path from failure to success, managing today's workforce, workplace etiquette. You see all these?
This
Leadership
is
and team
fabulous.
conflict.
And you have 38 courses now, I think you said, Frumi?
Yes. And if you look at this one, I'm just going to show you this for a second. These are the leadership courses: leadership disciplines, behaviors, and habits. There's 11 of these. And these
These are
are,
beautiful. This is really, really compelling. I mean, if you look at the subject matter, there's not a CEO, regardless of level or size of company, that doesn't know, that does not need to know all of these sources and the thought processes in them.
and
Um,
this is Ashley. She is actually the leader,
mhm.
runs these courses, and we do them in cohorts. But I'm going to show you one more thing because I don't know
Sure.
how many of your people that you know are veterans, but
Oh, yeah.
we offer free courses for veterans. So this here is my father, Soldier
Mhm.
Sam, and here is my dad when he was 92. He
My
says
goodness.
here there was a call for volunteers to join a special unit to do parachute jumping. I'd seen parachute soldiers in the movies. It was very frightening. Guess what? I thought, if I can do it, if they can do it, I can do it. So I volunteered. And so my dad was in the very first of the special service forces.
That's just fabulous.
And it was called the Devil's Brigade, which you
Oh,
might
my
have seen
goodness.
a movie by that name. So that's what
Mm.
school is all about.
That is fabulous. I mean, what a history, and you've got to be very proud of your dad and all the things that he did.
I am. I'm going to show you one more thing if you
Hmm.
want.
Absolutely.
Hold on, let me just do this. Okay. Oops. Where did that go? Service. Sorry, Bill.
No problem. Take your time.
All right. Oh, no. That's not what I wanted. Okay, now I've got it. I would have keyed this up if I knew you'd be so patient with me.
Oh, I know. Well, all of our viewers have lots of patience. They want to learn just like you'd go to your academy. They would take the time to
Okay.
listen and think, right?
Yes, so here we go. So this is the metaverse I was telling you about.
Oh, for your academy. Oh, I love it.
Right. And that is my avatar.
Hmm.
And so I'm going to show you an office. Oop. So let's nip into this particular office, okay?
Okay.
This is a lovely young lady by the name of Jasmine Ober, and she
Hmm.
has a company called Pitch Genius. So she creates fabulous pitches for entrepreneurs and CEOs who are looking to find money from, get funded from some
Right, exactly. Critical.
44% success rate, which is,
Really? That is huge. That quite honestly is a very large number.
yes. And here's one more. So
Hmm.
this is Michael Leibowitz, and
Hmm.
his Magnetic Mind Studio, he works with messaging. So he creates the most incredible messaging for people. And you can see all down the hall.
So
This
you have a roughly 38 courses
28,
in how many?
28.
28, I'm sorry, 28 rooms like this.
Yes.
That is fabulous. And
So
go ahead.
because we're cutting edge.
They're cutting. I love it. And everybody wants to know cost. What would one course cost, or two or three courses? Is there a discount if you do like four or five courses? And are there themes around course content?
Absolutely. So, well, you saw there's a whole bunch of entrepreneurial ones. There's
Hmm.
a bunch of courses for employees because 66% of people aren't engaged and retention is poor. So these are the courses they should be taking. Probably the most robust course is $1,500. That's managing today's workforce.
Right,
It has 31 lessons in it. But the entrepreneurial courses, for example, people can take 6 or 7 courses. I think actually 8 courses for just under $4,000. And when
right,
you think about the cost of an MBA, when I got my MBA in 2001 from Cal State Fullerton, I paid 13,500. That same MBA now is 37,500.
right.
So for someone who wants the knowledge, who's running a business, they don't even teach you anything in an MBA program about strategy or execution. You learn statistics, you learn cost accounting. But if you don't use that stuff every day, it's not going to run your business.
I think that oftentimes what I see is that the curriculum is set by academics.
Yes,
And they say this is important. They are not entrepreneurs. They've not done the job. And they say this will be really good for them. They will use this and they'll be better entrepreneurs. Maybe not. Maybe what they need is more practical application of things that Bar Academy is providing them.
absolutely. That's why I created it because I've never learned any of this stuff. I often say to people, I created this for my former self. If I
There you
could
go.
be in a Back to the Future, I'd take my courses and I'd be a fabulous entrepreneur.
If I'd known then what I know now.
Yeah, exactly.
That is so important. You mentioned the entrepreneur mindset. What is the entrepreneur mindset?
Oh boy, that's a way of thinking, isn't it? Well,
Hmm.
uh, I'll give you one example. Well, as you know, there's a fixed mindset and there's a growth mindset.
Hmm.
Entrepreneurs have to have a growth mindset because there's so many
But
things.
what's possible? What can happen that I can make happen?
And you know what? One of those things is, I'll tell you, I just got involved with an organization called Lemonade. It
Hmm.
consists of 3 different components: recruiting for Fortune 1000 high level executives, venture capitalists on the other side, and then in the middle, the monkey in the middle, as I think of it, is fractional executives.
Hmm.
So a lot of people in today's marketplace say they're fractional.
Yeah, fractional CFOs, you hear that all the time. Hmm.
They're probably the best of the lot because, well, that's just my opinion, I suppose. And there's about 4,500 fractional CFOs.
Hmm.
But there are CMOs, there's CIOs, there's,
Yeah, chief future officers, all those things now.
a
Hmm.
lot of them have grown up in large companies and they don't know how to deal with growing companies or startup companies. And so for Lemonade, I am creating the Fractional Academy
Hmm.
so that people can learn to be fraction and be recruited by VC firms to manage their portfolio companies.
I love that. It's almost like if you walk through the door for a VC firm and you've had the Bar Academy courses, then that might open even more doors for you because they have practical experience and been steeped in knowledge on doing this from an entrepreneur that has curated all these courses. How did you develop your curriculum, for me, other than hard work and knowing people and all the work that you've done in the past?
Well, I actually created a disclaimer today for my AI course.
Okay,
And so I'm going to share my disclaimer. Okay.
there you go.
Let's see. Where's my disclaimer? Okay, here it is. Because I created the AI course. Okay. And so I give a disclaimer. This course was created with AI assistance, but only because I spent the past 2 years using AI daily. My experience working with AI, particularly in collaboration with my faithful accomplice, Byte, has shaped my understanding of machine learning and its practical applications. AI is a tool, but real expertise comes from hands-on experience and critical thinking. So, in
Wow.
answer to your question, in the last 2 years, I have created almost all my courses with AI, but none of them would be courses anybody else could create because they
Right.
all have my experience with clients, my experience with my own companies. So I use AI as a thought partner.
Mm-hmm.
And often I'll just say, improve this paragraph,
Mm-hmm.
and it
Oh
does.
yeah. Yeah.
So I don't, I kind of frown on the idea of just creating an AI, course completely from AI because, excuse
Mhm.
me, I would never do that.
No. And
It's
it's not
all
recommended, in fact.
knowledge.
If there's too much that could be added and the emotions and feelings are not there, which the thought is there. And I'm so amazed at what you've created here, Freeman. I really am, because it's almost like a guild, an experienced master guildsman or craftsman teaching, entrepreneurs how to be entrepreneurs. And there's lots, as you pointed out, courses and MBAs and all that, but oftentimes they're very academic. And what you really need is someone who's had the successes that you've had. And you've run 4 companies, I think you said, right? 4 different companies. That's fabulous.
And all the others from the back end.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
exactly.
CEOs I advise.
Oh my goodness, yes. All right, how do people get in touch with you, Frumi, and get sign up for the Bar Academy?
The easiest way is Dr. Frumi,
Mhm.
DrFrumi, at
Mhm.
Bar Business School. Make sure there's enough S's in there, .biz. So it's Dr. Frumi at barbusinessschool.biz.
Dr. Frumi at barbusinessschool
Biz, B-I-Z.
dot biz, B-I-Z. Okay.
Mhm.
Frumi, this is phenomenal. Words to the wise here for startups and so forth. What one word would you give?
Don't experiment.
Hmm.
It's really important to know what you're doing. I have seen far too many entrepreneurs think they know it all without any additional education. And after they burn through their cash, that's when they call me.
Exactly.
So
And
don't
that maybe one word we say is flexible. Flexible. Be willing to change your mind, change
keep
what you do.
going on.
Reminds me of the book by Mark Andreessen, The Hard Thing About Hard Things.
That's right. And
And
Bill, I've written 132 book summaries.
how many? That's
100,
right. Your book summaries. I've not seen one in a while. I love them.
they're always on
Saves
LinkedIn.
a huge amount of time.
Every 2 weeks, they're on LinkedIn.
There you go.
So follow me on LinkedIn.
You are a complete resource for everyone, for me. And I feel much less alone after having talked with you today. So this is really perfect. And thanks so very much and much success with Bar Academy. We'll do a follow-up maybe down the road a little bit, just see how things are going.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bill.
Oh, you bet. Take care. Have a wonderful day.